All right, family. Black again, black again. It's the Truth Hour with General Sarah Sunsetti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. Ring the alarm. KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarah Sunsetti DVD lectures, t-shirts and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, uh, home to herbal tonics and remedies for the family, holistic tonics, herbal tonics and remedies, home decor accessories for every room in the house, living room, bathroom, dining room, kitchen. We got you 20% off at this time, 20% off at this time. You go and check out and boom, big discounts for your family. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com, SETI University, over 900 video presentations on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, mental warfare, advanced African academics, developing the Black nation one lesson at a time. The complete General Sarah Sunsetti website. Get your behind in class today. SETI University, family. SETI, keep it popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never come, exclusive live streams, too hot to handle on YouTube. Today, we just dropped the stolen art of alchemy, the Black arts, a very powerful, powerful presentation on the development of Black divinity for our people to raise one from a base level to that of deity. You need to see that one, become a patron today. The links is down in the video description. Click that link, begin to think. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, General Seti, Sarah Sunsetti, and King Seti. Rock that notification bell, get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. You'll be up out of here quick, fast, in a hurry. All right. Man, we continue to roll. We continue to roll. Very powerful videos we have in the day. Just dropped one on Malcolm. Now we dropping one on Alberta King. Okay. Mrs. Alberta King, the mother of Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, I'm not a student of Dr. Martin Luther King, but when a man's life is taken, when a man's life is taken, you have to respect, you see, the sacrifice, the sacrifice, of life, and I do that, I do that. Even though, that's, his walk is not my walk, okay? Not my walk. And, but again, like I say, I understand sacrifice. And so, tragedy, Malcolm, Martin, so many of our leaders, one way or another, have been assassinated, and a lot of people, don't understand, how destructive that is to progress when the best that you have to offer is being assassinated. These are not just, mortal men. You see, these are men with a gift and a talent far beyond, above and beyond the average, and you don't get them every day. You don't, you see? And so, even the way that they, they brought down Garvey, you see, brought him down, you see, deported the master, you see, put him out, and niggas stood at the damn, at the docks and shit down there. I believe it was New Orleans where they floated him out of there. Niggas was singing Negro spirituals and shit. They were singing Negro spirituals. This is what we do. And so, it was surprising to me to learn that a black Hebrew Israelite, you see, was one who committed, assassinated her, Mrs. Alberta King, June 30th, 1974. She was 69, she was 69. And the murderer was, this guy. Let me put him up here. Let me get him up here for y'all. This guy right here, Marcus Wayne Chenault. 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 He was a 23-year-old black man from Ohio. I believe it was Dayton, who had adopted the theology of the black Hebrew Israelites. Nah, his mentor was a guy named Hananiah, Israel of Cincinnati. Okay, Hananiah Israel of Cincinnati. And this, and he talked about, the black civil rights activists. He talked about them. You see, I'm not, I'm not against that. And he talked about the black church leaders as being evil and deceptive. And that, and a lot of times that's true. A lot of times that is true. You see, but claimed in interviews not to have advocated violence. Okay? And so, this guy Chenault would, sit in on Hananiah Israel's lessons. He claimed that he sat in maybe 5 or 6 times. You see, and obviously when I look at the guy, you see, when I look at him, he's on some weird shit. He don't look like he got them all. You see, he don't look like he got them all. That's his father. You see, this is in, this is his father and his mother. And they say they never, that they love Dr. Martin Luther King. They owned all his records, at that time, Martin Luther King was signed to Motown, and I seen that, a lot of people don't know that he had given that I Have a Dream speech, I believe. I don't know if it was in Detroit, but that was not the first time that he had given that speech, because I seen the record of I Have a Dream, and it was produced by Motown, you see. And so when I look in this guy's eyes, he's 23 years old. He's 23 years old. He looked like a little damn kid. He got the demeanor of somebody who ain't all, who ain't got it all. You see? And so, after, receiving whatever indoctrination that he received, and I'm not at all saying that, Hananiah Israel told the man to go and murder, and, because it seemed to be something very deeper than that. You see, something deeper than that. Because it's all, at that time, it was all type of assassinations going on, and, they want to put it on one lone gunman. You see, and, you having, you got, you got the assassination of Malcolm, the assassination of Martin. You had the assassination of JFK. You had the assassination of his brother. What was his brother John, and the other brother was I forget his brother's name, but he was running for president, and they killed him too. They killed him too. You see, and so RFK. That's right, Robert. That's right, Robert. You see, and so they after killing Mrs. Alberta King, they found a hit list in his room. You see where he had Jesse Jackson's name on it. He had Aretha Franklin's name on it. You see, he had a few names on it, but he was supposed to go to Chicago. I don't know if it was it Father's Day, one of them, on a holiday, and this is what they made it seem. A lot of people look at that as really suspicious. Because Dick Gregory was saying that shit in all these one long hitmen, that they always find some list, some list. And you can look at this guy, is he some type of fucking Manchurian candidate? Because from my understanding, he shot Alberta King in the head 3 times. You see, from the pews. He stood up and, shot, and it, to be able to hit somebody from a distance with a handgun, 3 times in the head, and I have to make sure but that's the way I heard it from Dick Gregory. You see that she had been shot 3 times, you see, at a distance. You see, and so again, he leaving Dayton. You see, he left Dayton. He had, obviously, from my understanding, he has stolen 2 handguns from his dad. You see, and took the bus all the way to Atlanta. From my understanding, he might have set in on a Bible study the day before, and it reminds me of when the white boy down there in Charleston, you see, sat right in there demon. You see, sat right there in there demon and shot all them black people in the church in Charleston. You see, and it's the same, regardless, you have to, all this, thinking that you are protected by some God, from sick-minded niggas and sick-minded Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. You very, very wrong. You see, and so I had to think to myself, I say, this woman ain't no threat. This is a 69-year-old woman. What threat could she be? What threat could she be? So this made me really, really think, like, what this shit was about. It was somebody trying to send a message. You know what I'm saying? Who was they trying? Did somebody know something? You see? Did somebody know something outside of what? And this, this was a assassin sent to kill this woman. I had to ask myself that. Because this woman said she ain't no threat to nobody. Okay, and I know, of all the people that you could consider a threat, a 69-year-old woman ain't that. You see, that's just not it. And so if, and I had to say, we have to be, you can look at somebody and tell when they ain't all there. You got to be able to look at somebody, and I can tell from here that he's not all there. Now, this is the guy, Hananiah, Israel. You see, this is Hananiah, Israel. And like I said, he was one of the founding members. He was one of the founding members of the house of Israel. You see, in Cincinnati. Now, of course, I believe it has evolved. I believe his brothers had taken it over since then. You see, since then, and it has developed into something different. But this was the Cincinnati headquarters of Hananiah, and this is where Marcus came to receive. You could look right in his eyes, man. The nigga not all there. He not. You see what I'm saying? He almost got like a childlike demeanor. You see what I'm saying? And so this motherfucker probably was crazy. Look at this one right here. This motherfucker look like somebody, that they go kill her. We want to send a message and shit. This shit was just bigger than, this motherfucker just, could go all, just like Dick Gregory say, just ride from Dayton. If he was a crazy, sick motherfucker, just, and without this like a fucking Manchurian candidate, you know what I'm saying, who's been programmed, you know what I'm saying, to do something, and and to go down there and systematically go through the process of even, going to build Bible class, man, to show up the next day. This shit is well planned and well thought out. You see? This motherfucker, it's like the program been put in his fucking head, like he was hypnotized and shit. You see what I'm saying? Psychologically, they put this motherfucker, and that's the kind of shit they do. They do that shit. You see? They do that shit. And so, to shoot, and it was another I believe it was another deacon that he shot. It was actually 3 people that he shot. And the deacon passed too. You see, I believe the deacon he passed also. I believe the other guy, he very well. I think he made it. I believe it was a he. So let me get some of this information off of this guy. You see, and I even got the old you know I even got the old news report with Hananiah in it. And he didn't back down on nothing that he taught. You know what I'm saying? But I just I had to look at this guy and say I could see that he not all together. You see what I'm saying? And so either he put a power pack on him, or the government. You see what I'm saying? Then got them one of these weird motherfuckers and put in his head. You know what I'm saying? To go down here and murder this woman in Ebenezer. And the crazy shit about it is that Martin Luther King's his little brother was also murdered. And I don't even know if people know that. You see, I don't even know what was it. Wait a minute. Let me see. Here it is. Let me see. Okay. Well, they saying I thought maybe he had been murdered, but they say that he was on July 21st, 1969, 9 years before his 39th birthday. King and his first name was Alfred. Okay, Alfred Daniel Williams King. Okay, and he was found dead in the swimming pool at his home. They say the cause of his death was listed as an accidental drowning. However, it is likely that the stress of his brother's high-profile activism and activist work and the trauma of his assassination exacerbated Alfred's heart problems. You see, it says a rumor disclaimed by his wife, Naomi Ruth Barber King, okay, of which there was a family history. Okay, and so I don't know if they saying that, there was something, because she said that, they saying that a rumor disclaimed. Okay, so then there's something there. You see, so it's just like that Malcolm X family and Martin Luther King family. Like, wow, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's at least 3, 4 people in their family, both of them that just died. Murdered, mysteriously died. Where they just they just went down the line on both of them. You see what I'm saying? Just went down the line. You know, Malcolm X Jr., you know what I'm saying? As a young boy, I remember that, when he set the house on fire, and they saying he didn't mean to do it, but, from my understanding, he was trouble. You know what I'm saying? And so, we only on the outside looking in. But I tell you what, this one right here surprised me because, one way or another, he was getting his teachings from the guy, and ultimately, you know what I'm saying, he put a power pack on him. And like I say, many people still see that there's possibility of conspiracy, to assassinate, you know, you know, you know, family members, you see, of family members, of high profile activists or leaders, you see, and this is, and so when we see here Alberta King, being shot down by a Hebrew Israelite, I say, well, damn, man, y'all motherfuckers, y'all supposed to be, y'all supposed to be banging on the beast. And what I heard them say, Hananiah said. Now, this shit that this nigga said, I didn't respect because he was saying that God was using the white man, you see, to teach black people, a lesson because I guess, we didn't fell out of good grace with God. And he said that black people should remain in their position as slaves into God. You see, you know, choose for them, ultimately choose for them to be free. He's saying that the reason why we are in this predicament is the will of God, and that God is using the white man to teach us, you see, because we didn't fell out of grace. Now, this is out of the newspaper, I guess they interviewed him. This is a Hananiah, and he said, I gave Marcus the key to understanding the scriptures, said Israel, a tiny man who wears a black cap with the Star of David on the crown. Israel, who said his legal name is Stephen Holloman, said Chenault took conspicuous notes of their discussion during their visits. He said Chenault often brought friends with him from Dayton or Columbus, where Chenault had been a student at Ohio State University. He said he last saw Chenault 5 months ago but had written him as recently as June 19th. Israel said he had been interviewed extensively by FBI agents and said he was told agents learned about him because Chenault was carrying a letter from him when arrested. You see, Israel said he did not preach a message of violence. You see, this is what he said. Okay, now, which one is this? He said that he first met Chenault, who is charged with murder and Sunday slaying of Mrs. Martin Luther King Senior, Mrs. Martin Luther King Senior, and a church deacon in Atlanta about 8 months ago. About the time Chenault's mother said her son changed. Okay. He said Chenault telephoned him and requested an interview after seeing an advertisement Israel had placed in a magazine. He said he introduced Chenault in the Bible 5 or 6 times. He instructed Chenault in the Bible 5 or 6 times. The last time about 5 months ago. Israel strikes out at black ministers and civil rights leaders repeatedly in his typewritten messages. When you stop those lying preachers from deceiving you and your loved ones, from robbing them of millions of dollars a year, you will have a better economy, Israel wrote. Israel predicted the destruction for blacks due to the civil rights movement. Okay? Now, let me see which one that go to. Whether he owned any weapons. Nah, it's a part of it. I don't know where, black men, sir, when you start, okay. And so it's a part of it that, been chopped off. He said, wait a minute, but God is going to do away with white people and free my people. You see, he said that when blacks are freed, they will be the master and whites will be the slave. Until then, he added, blacks should Until then, he added, blacks should remain slaves to white men because that is the role God has assigned to them. At that point in time, Hananiah would have been looking for his hat. You see, he'd have been looking for his hat because that motherfucker would have got slapped off his head. Like, nigga, what you just say? Remain a slave. You hear what these niggas just said? You know what I'm saying? And I believe these niggas might be, remain a slave. You see? Oh, Hananiah would have been looking for his hat. Straight up. Like, what the fuck you just say to me, man? And so that was about, but like I said, this just show you. All these niggas, they talking about the Hebrew Israelites. We talking about the Nation of Islam. The only people that I see that these motherfuckers strike out at is their own people. You see? They strike out at their own people. And this is, and this is the legacy. These groups is done for, man. These motherfuckers is done for. There's nothing you could get out of none of that. You see? I'm about the black divinity. I'm about that. You see? And anything other, I understand struggle too, and I'll leave that there. But your lasting legacy can't be that you struck out on your own people. You see? That's your legacy. You see? That's your legacy. At the end of the day, there's nothing that's gonna supersede that. The wrongful things, because they were so wicked and of such magnitude that people just cannot forget it. nor forgive it. You see? And so, family, it was surprising to me again that, a black Hebrew Israelite, and I guarantee you they're gonna say, well, he wasn't, he was following y'all goddamn teachers, man. He was following your guy, and they probably want to disown him and say, no, he wasn't a Hebrew Israelite. He was following the teaching. But like I say, at the end of the day, you got to look at a motherfucker mental aspect and see where they at. You can't put no power pack on no silly looking motherfucker like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't seen silly motherfuckers, and they don't have no they're not logical, they're not rational. You see, they're not rational and shit, and they missing some links in there. You know what I'm saying? And so when it come time to be rational, and they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to know, and, you got to feel people. You got to see, and I could see that, he wasn't together. You see what I'm saying? You can see through them damn glasses. His motherfucking pupils wasn't but that big. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucking pupils wasn't but that big. And so it's just, again, this is this is what we need to know, though. A lot of people don't know that. And so, today, do some research. I'm gonna go deeper, and into the story as much as I can to get a clear understanding of all, that happened, and I'm gonna listen to Dick Gregory and see if and see if I can get some more information on this. And if I do, I clearly bring the information to the people as best that I can. Okay, family, we got one more left. I'm about to turn up. The one crushing fact that totally destroys the Bible. I'm about to have some fun on this next one. You see, get ready. We're gonna have education and entertainment. Be ready. You might have to buckle up in your chair because you might fall out that motherfucker laughing. The truth is funny like that. All right, family. This is the general saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast, daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.